Welcome to Friday edition of Quarantine with Styles, aka Driving with Styles. I finally got that right. I should get a round of applause on that. I wish I had one of those buttons that those guys on real broadcasts have at their disposal. Well, I am happy to be here on this Friday. Uh, First thing, we got to give out some prayers up for our man Chris Oates. I heard today, not too long ago, that he's been in the hospital. I think I heard he was in critical condition, but now he's in better shape. So prayers up for him. Outside of football does not matter right now. Need him to get well as just a person. And football is not even secondary. It's pushed way down. So I just hope he gets better for himself and his family. And I hope Big Blue Nation give on those prayers, because prayers changes things, man. And I just hope the best for him in the future. And that's going to lead to me. So tonight we're going to cover a couple topics. I'm going to do this one again as far as why I believe that we can win the East. Also, we're going to touch on a little bit of Dak. And then I might switch that with coaching. How you coach practice players who do as well in practice and just gamers. There are some players that are gamers and don't excel in practice as much. I wish there were some coaches that would call in. You can see the number up top. You can call in. I also had a link I tweeted out this afternoon. You can click on that link and you can hop right on with me. I hope someone obliges, because calls are a really cool way for me. When I was driving the Styles, I used to get chats as I was driving. So someone wants to call or just send a chat, send a tweet, I'm cool with that too. First, we're going to get into this, why I believe that we are destined for greatness this year. A big reason I feel is that we are returning a lot of players. We are returning some excellent players, if you ask me. We are returning, and then we're getting some players back that we lost last year due to injury. We got Isaiah Epps back, and we're getting Robinson back on both sides of the ball. One on both sides of the ball. The other thing is we got experience. A lot of experience on both sides of the ball. We have an awesome offensive line, and we have an awesome defensive line. Getting Phil Hoskins back really helps really shores up that D-line. But we also have some young guys who are coming up who should excel at the D-line. Linebackers are still one of our strengths, even though we are probably going to lose Oates this year. We still have Davis and Square. Moving Pascal down to the front three shows that Coach Stoops and Coach White are very comfortable with our linebackers, with Jordan Wright, Weaver, Boogie, which is a good thing. And then moving Carey inside linebacker will help us with our problem of losing Oates. And of course, the biggest key is getting Terry Wilson back. I think our wide receiving crew is going to surprise people, just like I said they was going to surprise last year. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. But the most important thing to me is the conference. To me, isn't that strong. And I shouldn't say isn't that strong. You know what? That's a slap in the face. I should slap myself for saying that. We have closed the gap tremendously. And I know a lot of pundits are picking the hot pick, Florida, and they're probably picking Florida because of what they did to LSU. Florida had a really good game against LSU, and I think that's clouding a lot of people's judgment. I think that this is the closest year in recent history of all the SEC teams. I think it's a bunch up at top. I think any one of the four can potentially win the SEC East. That's Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and us. I truly believe that. And I believe that because of this. Should I begin? No, I'm going to end with Florida. Georgia lost a lot. Their O-line is going to be good. Their defense is going to be pretty good. But losing Swift, I don't care who is the next guy up, it's going to be hard filling his shoes. On top of that, I know people feel like Fromm had a bad year, but you have to remember what he had coming back at the receiving core. They were young, they were inexperienced, he had some injuries, and I think that affected him. That affected the passing game. And now they're going to bring in a guy from Wake Forest who's just going to learn the system, and now they lose the whole summer, pretty much. It's going to be tough. That adjustment's going to be tough. Playing in the SEC every week, playing against better competition week in and week out. Let's see what he does in the SEC. I'm not truly comfortable with giving Georgia the benefit of the doubt yet. Now, they are the most talented team in the East. They have the most on paper talent, but we all know you got to line up on Saturdays and you got to play ball, man. I'm not sure they're going to be as good as Georgia has been. And Tennessee is the same deal. Tennessee lost both their receivers, and Jennings and Holloway. I think that's going to affect that offense. Does Pruitt really trust Garantano? Because he's their best bet. However, he's proven that he really don't trust the guy. So Tennessee is improving. I think we're better. Now the problem is we got to play Tennessee on the road. But I think we are going to slay that demon this year and finally get us a win at Neyland Stadium. That's how I feel. Now coming with Florida. Florida is their offensive line is better, but man, they lost so much on the offensive side. They lost receivers. They lost a running back on defense. And I don't trust Trask. I really don't. I think he was second in the league with 2,900 yards. That's not blazing the league on fire, man. 2,900 yards, Burrow almost doubled that amount. Burrow had like 5,600 yards. I know that's an exceptional year, but I mean, Trask didn't light it on fire. I think he had what? I think I wrote it down. 25 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 2,941 yards. That's a decent year. But people are acting like he's going to light it on fire. And I know our fans say, well, he beat us. Well, I mean, in essence, yes. But he didn't throw a touchdown. He had like 120 some yards passing. Franks had more yards passing than he did. So I'm not sure of all the love that I'm getting for Trask. He had a big game against LSU. He had a big game against lesser opponents. But I feel like with what happens, and I've said this many times, what happens is no one had tape on him. No one knew how Mullins was going to use his skill set. Then toward the end of the year, Mullins started passing the ball a little more. No defensive coordinator was able to gain any traction on tendencies with Mullins and Trask, which is going to be different this year. They're going to have a whole slew of games to look back on next year to get the idea of how Mullins is probably going to use Trask this year. That's the difference. And on defense, man, they lost both of their defense ends, both their pass rushers. They lost both corners. They're very young at linebacker. They got to fill the shoes of the two defensive ends. It's going to be an interesting year. Now, the good thing about it is we faced them second game of the year. That's a positive for us because we have experience, especially going through this pandemic. This is a chance that we can use that as an advantage. The other thing is we have confidence that we can go into the swamp and win because we just did it 2 years ago. In the last 3 years, we have handled Florida. We have done well. When we faced them at home in 2017, we should have beat them. We left 2 wide receivers uncovered for touchdowns. We lost by a point. And the ref called a bogus holding call, and we was about to kick a field goal to win that game. Then we win in Florida. Then we all know what happened last year. So the talent gap between us and Florida has decreased. And like I've said many times, Mullins is working magic at Florida. Florida roster isn't what it used to be. they are not keeping as many in-state guys that they used to. You go to any of the recruiting sites and look at the top 10 to 15 players out of Florida. A lot of them not staying in Florida. That wasn't happening under Spurrier. So things are a little different. I think this is our year to shock the world. And you add on to that, Coach Stoops is his belt got a few more notches on it with experience. That always helps because now he knows how to adjust during a game. People don't understand. Being a coordinator is totally different than being a coach when the decision making is solely on you. Some of these decisions are split-second decisions. You got to make that right on the spot. Now I know he's confident in making those decisions. And I, like I said before, I see us going 11-1. I will not fight on that. I'm not going to change it. I'm hardened on that number. For me, I think the game we potentially lose is Auburn. And Auburn has some issues too. They lost their D-line. They're young. But playing in Sanford Stadium at night, which I feel like this is going to be a night game. Because we should be undefeated going there. I have us undefeated going there. I'm sure that's going to be that ESPN 7 o'clock game. So playing that night game at Sanford Stadium is a beast. I played there on Thursday night. I think it was my sophomore, junior year. Can't remember. Probably my junior year. And it was rocking. So I feel like that's a tough road. These guys have never played there, unfamiliar territory. That's a potential loss for us. Now, I got 15 minutes. Let's go with this real quick. Don't know if any coaches out there, give me a call. See if you can, at the number below 415-762-9988. Meet number 647-696-9337. Or you can click on the link that I sent out earlier today. Practice players versus gamers. How do you decide what coaching philosophies do you have for that? That's a tough one for me because personally, I'm more of a gamer. Now, I'm not a horrible practice player, or I wasn't a horrible practice player, but I definitely wasn't a great one. Not even close. And this goes back to high school. I was good. I was average, probably a little bit above average. But when we stepped across those lines on Friday night or on Saturday night, I changed. I don't know what it was, focus, whatever. But I was a gamer, and that's in all sports. I'll never forget in track, and as you guys watch me enough, track is my sport. In track, I was a 6'8" high jumper. So in track, I did high jump, triple jump, hurdles, and mile relay. And if you know in track, the way the events run, usually my high jump and my hurdles overlap. And it's tough. So I was a 6'8" high jumper. And my coach was paranoid because I never came in until 6 feet. I'm like, Coach, look, I only got a couple jumps in me because I got to do hurdles. Then after hurdles, I got triple jump. Then I got to save myself for the mile relay. He was like, well, why don't you come in at 5'6"? I'm like, Coach, that's a wasted jump. Why would I waste a jump at 5'6", what I was making in middle school, and do it now? But he never had the confidence because in practice, I could barely make 6 feet. I mean, I had trouble. But that's also after workout and doing all the other things I had to do with hurdles and triple and long. I had to practice long sometimes in case of an injury. So in practice, I never did well. But in meets, I never jumped under 6'4". And most of the time I jumped 6'6". So I was a gamer. And the same thing in practice. I was a pure gamer. And I don't know how do you decide how many games does a guy have to perform well in for you to begin to trust him? Does he have to play a whole season? But how do you know if you're not giving him the chance? When do you give a guy who's a gamer a chance? I know I talked to some of my old teammates about that, and a problem I know we had as specifically a secondary is our coach was big on practice, and if you didn't have a good practice, you had some bad practices. You did not. You definitely didn't start. You might not get too much playing time. His thing was, I got to gain my confidence in you in practice, and I had that problem all the way through my senior year. There's a couple games I didn't start my senior year, and I know I was the best corner. I'm gonna say I'm the best DB in the room, but I was definitely the best corner, in my opinion. And I hope the other guys thought they were too. But that's because that's how corners think. You don't know what corner. We are a little brash. We can be, and so. But on Saturdays, I perform. So how do you, as a coach, decide when is that? What's the he's a gamer. I'm not gonna worry about it in practice. As long as he knows what to do, where to be, and if he just let things, he gets burnt a couple times on defense, throw a couple interceptions on offense. How do you decide? Okay, I got a caller coming on. 1 second. Hey, welcome to Quarantine with Styles. How you doing?
You talk to my brother a lot on Twitter. I just wanted to say hello
Okay,
and say go Cats.
thank you. I appreciate it. Who's your brother?
Camro 54.
Ah, what's your name?
My name is Valen.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. And I wanted to let you know too. I don't see them going less than 9-3 next year because I think that Drake Jackson, Landon Young, and Darian Kennard are going to all three be on the All American team or at least first team All SEC. And then I think that Cavassier Smoke and I think Josh Ali are both going to be all SEC players for us next year.
You are a very smart lady. You are much better than your brother. I tell you that.
Well, and I just want you to also use this platform. Will you please, if you are a praying man, pray for Christopher Oates' family right now? I don't know the situation, but there is a lot going on.
Exactly. I the same thing. I definitely second that one because I'm praying that he just makes it out of this outside of football. If he doesn't play another down for us,
Me too.
get him healthy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for
I
the
will
call.
hang up and listen.
Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. So as I was saying with the coaches, how I wish I had a coach to call in to say because I did coach a basketball team and I had a couple gamers, but I got that during practice. I had an idea of whom was what. And I had some really good practice players, but when the lights came on, they didn't perform as well, and I knew who they were. And I had to, and what I did was I was big on practice, so I had to prove to them, had to show them. You also got to play on games too. You just can't be the best practice player. You have to perform on game day. And I filmed games and I showed them like this guy's just doing better in games, and that's where you're gonna lose your starting spot. Uh, but it is an interesting thing how some coaches will hold on to that guy that they trust in practice, and I'm gonna tell you, it frustrates the guy who's the gamer because he's like, this is for wins and losses, not it's practice. Like Allen Iverson say, coach, it's practice. It's a delicate balance, man. Very delicate balance. Um, so don't have any callers. I wish I had a coach to come in to comment on that because I would like to get some comments on that because I'm a gamer and I feel like gamers should have their opportunity um, to show that. Next thing I'm going to talk about is my man Dak Prescott. Um, like I said, if you follow me in the past, Dak was my QB1, and 2016 is when he got drafted. I had him over Wentz. That's just how I feel. He's my QB1. I saw him in Mississippi State. I knew what he could do. I was very confident with that pick. Now, this is what bothers me about this contract deal. It's very interesting to me how usually in this as fans, we usually side with the owners and not the players. It's the most interesting thing that happens in sports. It's amazing that since the players' contract numbers are I guess publicized and we don't know how much the owners make, so to speak, that we feel like they shouldn't make that much money or they shouldn't make as much as they're making or et cetera, et cetera. And this Dak thing got me because Dak played on a rookie contract. Okay? He played on a rookie contract. And I actually have it up, but I'm gonna give some quick stats. I had to write these down today. So Dak, 65% completion. He was second in yards, had 5,000 yards passing, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. The guy is 40-24 as a starter. 4th year in the league. This is his 4th year in the league, and he has improved every year. 2 postseasons, took Dallas to 2 postseasons. He's 1-2. I don't know if you remember, the first postseason game he went, that would have been 2018. Dak won the game. The defense lost at the end. I don't know if you remember that pass from A-Rod to the tight end on the corner, on the sideline. That lost the game for Dallas. Dallas had that game won. So at least he'll be 2-2. Let's say they lose the next game. He's 2-2 as a postseason record. And he's young. He's 26, 27. Face of the franchise. He is a model citizen. What do you want from him? I don't get it. And all these numbers, there's a number thrown out. It's a PR hit on the player. There is no way Dak asked for $45 million. The highest paid guy is Russ, and he's averaging 35. And here's the deal about that. I don't like when we go with this average. Russ didn't make $35 million last year. Russ wasn't the highest paid salary cap hit last year. Look at the numbers. Do some research. Look at it. Now, the thing about it is they average his signing bonus, and then he gets to 35. So I'm going to pull up this because I put it up. Let me pull up this contract for Dak. If you want the best site, and I look at this often for contract, is SpotTrack, SPOTRAC.com. You can look up all the contracts in football. So here's Dak contract. Now look, here's the deal. Dak total while being at Dallas is a little under $5 million. Now, I sent a tweet out earlier with Ed Warner, and he made the perfect statements. Usually guys, star quarterbacks, franchise quarterbacks, like Dak is, they don't get to that 4th year. They don't get to the 4th. They've signed a 4-year extension. Okay? But what Dallas wants is Dak to sign a 5-year contract now, which will put them at 9. Dak doesn't want that. Dak doesn't want that because it's simple. He wants to get paid again. He wants the chance to bank on his talents yet again. And I don't understand why you won't give him the 4-year contract. The holdup has been, I stated this in March, I stated this before March. The holdup in this contract is the length of the contract, not the money. It's the length. It's 4 years over 5. Dak wants, I said this on the locker, Tuesday and Thursdays, 9 to 10 with my man A. White. I said this on the locker. It is 4 years over $110 million. Would you rather that or 5 years $110 million? It's an easy one. You want to do 4. 4 years, 1 year, 10, the same deal that Jared Goff signed. It's the same deal. The exact same deal. Why can't we get that to Dak? And all these people saying, well, it's blasphemous that Dak could be the highest paid quarterback. Come on, man. That's business. His contract is coming up at a perfect time. And he's not going to be the highest paid for long because Patrick Mahomes is about to shatter that little record or that little spot at being number one. It's over. Here's the thing that I hate to end this with. Then I'll do my video of the day is Tom Brady. I watched Get Up, some clips of Get Up, and Nikovic was talking about how Brady took pay cuts and all this stuff. Brady this is why New England is so good. New England was creative with Brady's contracts. Brady got all his money up front. And back then, they were not doing as many guaranteed contracts. Brady got his money up front. And let me show you his pay, his salary deal. And then I'm going to try to get into this. I don't know if you can see it. I might have to make this bigger. Let's see if this works. Now, if you look at it, Brady was signed in 2000. Now, Brady's contract was a 3-year contract, 2000, 2002. But you know what they did? They signed Brady again in 2002. They re-signed him. They didn't wait till the contract was up. They re-up before his 3 years was up. All right? So that year, his cap hit was like $4 million. And in 2002, the highest paid cap hit was $6 million. And it was Peyton Manning. Now, I know the numbers are crazy now, but think about that. Brady was 4, and Manning was a little bit more accomplished at that point as far as a quarterback. All right? So this is what the Patriots did. 2000, they signed a contract for 2000, 2006, a 4-year deal. Okay? 4-year deal in 2002. Now, instead of letting that contract run out in 2005, he got a new contract. You see the numbers, right? This man got $10 million, and actually he had a $14 million signing bonus, but they spread it out over 2 years. So in that year, 2005, Brady made $16 million in cash. The $1 million salary, the $10,000 signing bonus, plus the 4 that they prorated to 2006, and he got incentives of $1 million. $16 million. The highest paid quarterback that year was Brett Favre. His salary hit was $10 million. So in 2005, Brady was the highest paid quarterback. In cash. See, this is what people don't understand. In cash. Now, the team prorated that out. But Brady made $16 million in 2005. And that wasn't even at the end of his contract because his contract was supposed to go to 2006. So he's saying that in 2005, he signed a new contract for 5 years. All right? That's supposed to go to 2010. See the 2010 number. He signed a new contract in 2010. Now he got $6 million signing bonus, but he got actually 10. He got $16 million. They prorated it. That's how you save your team your cap space. They prorated, and he got $3 million signing bonus. In 2010, Brady made $26 million in cash. 26 cash in hand. The highest salary cap hit that year was $24 million. He was one of the top paid quarterbacks in cash that year. See, a lot of people are going to say Brady was never the top paid quarterback. Well, if you dig in the numbers, he's right up there. Now, there's other quarterbacks who were doing the same thing. But this thing about Brady giving discounts to New England, he was not. Completely. They were doing a good job of, I guess, getting around cap hits. All right? So now, that's 2010. Now, his contract in 2010 is supposed to be 4 years. But did Brady make it 4 years? No. Brady made it. 2013, he signed a new contract. So he played 10, 11, 11 and 12. Then in 13, he got a new contract. All right? A new contract. Look at the numbers. In 2013, my man made $31 million cash in hand. And they don't count the roster bonus as part of their cash. $31 million. Okay? 10, 5, 10, 15, 5, and 1. $31 million. Cash in hand in 2013. That's not really a discount, if you ask me. But they were creative in allowing the Patriots' ability to sign other players. In 2013, Eli was the highest paid quarterback at $20 million. Brady made $31 that year. So that contract's supposed to be 4 years, 2013 to 2017. Do you think Brady made it to 2017? No. He signed a new contract in 2015. And that was his discount contract. That was the contract where they wanted to sign some players, and he gave them a big discount in 2015. And he got $8 million. And the highest contract then was $23 million. But you know what? I think there was an understanding. But that contract's supposed to be 2 years. You know what? He signed a new contract in 2016. He signed a new contract in 2016. You look at the $14 million, there was a signing bonus. He made $28 million. $28 million in 2016. Cash in hand. Highest paid quarterback, I would say, highest paid quarterback in 2015 was Breeze. I said the number 23. In 16, it was Eli at 24. Brady made 28. Then we can go on and on. What I'm trying to get across to people is Brady didn't necessarily give New England a discount. And this was a little, most of his contracts was prior to this big guaranteed slant that the teams are starting to do now. But Brady was making a lot of money at one time. And I'm going to pull that up again because at the end, Brady made $235 million over 20 years. Do the math, that's about $11.5 million a year on average. And if you think about it, Brady was coming up where the league money for quarterbacks was not as high. Like I said, in 2002, $6 million was what Peyton Manning made that year. Now it's 35 as the highest. $230-some million. But a lot of that time, Brady got his money up front, which is all an NFL player wants because that contract is like toilet paper. It's not guaranteed. So you got to get your guaranteed money up front because they can cut you tomorrow and not be not to pay that money. That money is not against the cap. It's the signing bonus, it's the guaranteed money. Then they can prorate that. So instead of it being $30 million against the cap, let's say it's 6 years, they can go $5 million a year against the cap. Unless they cut you. Now, if they cut you, now you got a lot of dead money. Wherever left on the contract is dead money. There's a lot of technicalities with that. I don't want to get into it, but dead money and all that stuff. But just trust me, Brady discount is a little overblown because he got his money. Guarantee that. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'm going to hit my video today. I saw this. I remember this a few years ago, but I saw it again on Twitter today, and it actually touched me a little bit. Let's see.
It was towards the end, like after I went to like almost every table. I asked, "Can we get a slice of pizza or whatever?" And they said, "Yeah." And then like something just clicked, and I seen like Bo sitting by himself. And at the time, I didn't know him, so I just went and asked him if I could sit down next to him. He said, "Sure, why not?" And then I sat down, and he opened up to me. He was like, "Hey, my name's Bo. What's your name?" And we started from there.
And in the picture, Travis is so engaged. He's making eye contact and engaged with him in that moment. It spoke volumes to that man's character, and that he took the time to to sit and spend that, even that's just a few minutes that he had there with my child. It meant everything. It meant
Character, man. Who we are. I always say character is built on what you do when no one is watching. That's character. We can all try to fake it when we know someone is watching. But when you do stuff that touches people's lives, when people are not necessarily watching you, is character. All right, guys. I appreciate you watching. Thank the call. I got one caller. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Got one caller. You guys have a good weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a blessed weekend and pray. And everybody, please pray for Chris Oates. All right. Thanks for watching, guys.